So I can't believe that I am finally saying this, but welcome to my home gym. So a lot of you that have been following on from my socials and stuff know that this has been a process. We started the build of this gym in the start of June, but it took all year to plan it. Like, I had been thinking and planning about this for the entire year since January. A lot of people who follow me on my socials will have seen this progress because I couldn't help myself. I told myself I wasn't going to post anything until I posted kind of like a full, when it was complete gym tour. But I ended up getting excited along the way and posting stuff on my stories. So a lot of people have already seen this, but I did promise myself and others that I would do a home gym tour. I'm gonna do a full breakdown of where I'd started and where I am now, and kind of like where I got things from to help you out, whether you want to get some stuff, and kind of my whole purpose behind doing this build. I had a really old shed, which I'll post here, in this area, and it was just run down. I think from Google Maps showed me it was like 25 years old, and it just needed to go. And then we had some really strong winds back in January where the roof nearly blew off it, and it was just awful. So that was when I set out and thought, you know what, that needs replaced anyways. And we first started thinking about just getting a summer house, but then I started thinking, well, you know, we're not going to really use that summer house because we just won't. Like, it's not something we do. We've got a big garden, we've got a huge decking area, we'll sit out there when we need to. We're not going to sit in a summer house. And we've got a conservatory. I've always had a dream to have a home gym. I mean, I've had some of the equipment that's in here saved on my Facebook from like Facebook Marketplace from years and years ago, but I have never had the space or been in the financial position to be able to do this and to be able to build a home gym and get all the equipment and stuff like that. I am in that position now, and that's when I thought, well, me and Dom are both into the gym. I'm a fitness influencer, I post it on my socials. Dom's like an old school traditional bodybuilder, he's done shows before. I thought, well, what better way to build a home gym? I mean, I try and do all my content in gyms that I've been going to, but I don't film content through the week because the gyms are far too busy, and I know people can be uncomfortable if cameras are there. So I would only film on a Friday and potentially sometimes a Saturday. It was limiting my way that I could grow on socials and boost my accounts and kind of get myself out there. But now that I've got my own home gym and we are officially done here, then now that I can start filming content whenever I want, film whatever content I want, and just be able to help people as much as possible at any time. So that was really primarily my main reason why I wanted to build this home gym. So let's get into how I done it. So I will only speak about this for a little bit just because I want to get into the home gym tour and I want to get into like all the equipment, where I got it from, how much it costs, etc. But originally, so I'll put on the screen like photographs and stuff to kind of go along with this, but I had been designing on my computer, and I say designing, this is just free online stuff and I'm not very good at stuff like that. But I've been designing my own home gym with the space that I've got in my garden, which was basically the space of the two sheds that was there previously, because we actually had a set of steps there, which I'll show a photograph of, which was limiting the space that I had in the garden because I wanted to build behind them steps and in that area. My original plan was to build in that section, and I fitted in a bench, some dumbbells and a squat rack. That was the original plan. Obviously you can see that I've got a lot more in here now because it didn't go to plan, which was nothing but the best. I looked around at loads of different types of sheds online that you could buy, that you'd just put together yourself. I just didn't like the idea of it, and I couldn't get the exact size that I wanted. It was always have to be smaller or far too big for the place I could fit it in. I really didn't like the look and the idea of the sheds that come like that. I liked them for a summer house, but I didn't like it for what my idea in my head was for the home gym. And also the height of the buildings just wasn't quite tall enough for a squat rack and stuff like that, so it just wasn't working. So I basically put on Facebook about like a joiner in the area, and I actually ended up getting 3 very different quotes from joiners. And ultimately I went with a local person. He's called Michael Winthrop, and he owns his own joinery company, so I'll link him in the description below. He came out, had a look at it, and he gave me a really good price. So we'd discussed it for a couple of months really before he'd came to do it, And he was fantastic because the amount of changes that I went through, I must have actually drove him insane, because I couldn't decide. I was changing this, I was changing that, because he was basically building me a custom shed. So at this point I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna do whatever I want then. So I was a nightmare and he was great with me the entire time. So anyways, he came, built me the building. I think it took him about a week, which was fantastic, because this building ended up being, so I'll put a picture on of it now, and we put some new steps in to make it a little bit bigger. And it ended up being about 4.5 meters by 3.5 meters, where originally I was only going to be able to get in a 4 by 2.5. So, you know, we've added some extra space on there, which actually makes all the difference when you've got a home gym. Built it within about a week. And I ran the electrics and stuff for it as well, because I used to be an electrician, so we kind of worked together on that, of when was the best to do that. So that was great. Yeah, so it's a fully insulated building, which obviously the prices online that I was getting, that was a very similar price to Michael, were not insulated buildings. So he done me a really, really good deal. And it looks fantastic, this shed. I hate calling it shed because it's not, it's on gym now, but it is a wooden building, so it is a shed. It looks fantastic. Like, I have never seen another one look like this. He done such a great job. I am so incredibly happy. I wouldn't change anything about this build. Anyways, that is the building. Really, really happy with it. So what I ended up doing then was, I didn't plaster the buildings. We've actually got plywood on the walls, so we've got quite a thick plywood on the walls to make it solid, and obviously to be able to hold the weights and stuff like that. So what I ended up doing was I polyfilled all the gaps and all the, you know, all the screw holes, nail holes, stuff like that. Polyfilled the entire thing, which ended up taking me literally like 7 hours. It was horrendous. And then I sanded it all down once it had set and dried. Sanded it all down. That took me like another 5 hours. And then I ended up painting it. So I painted the whole room black. I went through loads of different colours online, and I designed it in loads of different colours. And the one thing that was giving me the feel of a real gym was to do it in black. And that's what I wanted, because the whole part of the process of designing this gym was to make sure that I felt like I was in a space I wanted to be in, and something that I felt like was motivating to me. And you know, it's important, because I didn't want to just have a set of dumbbells and like any squat rack. Like, I have to put so much effort into building this home gym so that I can be so comfortable in here and just as motivated as I would be in a normal gym. And it has turned out to be so much better than I ever imagined. So I'm so happy with all the research and all the hard work that I've put into this building. I'm really, really, really happy with it. Painted it all black, and then I ended up buying the flooring. So I went with 15mm 1 meter by 1 meter mat, and I got them from Primal Strength. I think the flooring cost me around £400 from Primal Strength, but their price was the best. And then from then I started getting my equipment in. So I'm gonna walk around the room and show you each piece of equipment that I've got, where I got it from, what I've done to it, why I chose it. I've found that a lot of YouTube videos that are for home gyms and stuff are all primarily American based, because they've got massive garages and massive bits of land. Not often you see a UK based home gym, so at least you know, if you're in the UK, that these are the places you can get them from, and this is how much it cost me. So basically everything on this side of the room is all secondhand and like revamped, and everything on this side of the room is brand new. That was not planned, that is just how it's ended up being. I will show you pieces of my equipment now and tell you where I got them from, so I hope you enjoy this video. First piece that I am going to come to is this dumbbell set. This dumbbell rack basically goes from 5 kgs all the way to 30 kgs. This is from Bulldog gear. I actually bought these secondhand. I originally had a Rep Fitness bench as well, because I got these from Dom's brother James, and he was selling them. So he was selling the Rep Fitness Zero Gap bench, and he was selling them Bulldog gear dumbbells and dumbbell rack. He was selling them for £1,000. So done a bit of research first and found out that that was well and truly worth it, because dumbbells and the dumbbell rack on its own are about, I'll find it now, costs online £1,479. It is currently on sale down to £1,257. And the Rep Fitness bench at the time, get them brand new for, it was $599, but they're actually on sale now and the price is $399 online. They were like brand new, and they're still like brand new now. I bought the Rep Fitness bench and the dumbbells for £1,000. Now to me, that was well and truly worth it, because at the time I knew that it would match the vibe as well, because they were all black. I really like that they're rubber, and then they have the Bulldog gear sign here. So they're really nice dumbbells. They're really good quality, and the stand and everything is perfect. I didn't actually keep the Rep Fitness bench. I had it for ages. It was so heavy, so the whole bench was 50 kilograms and it was like 1.4 meters long, and it was just massive. To build in the gym, I had it in here for a while, and then when I went on holiday recently, I tried out a Technogym bench for the first time, and they are really old. The Technogym benches are like 20 years old. I think they weigh like 17 kilograms, whereas mine weighed 50 kilograms, and it was like chugging dead weight around the room. Like, it was so hard, I couldn't do it. I ended up selling that bench and got myself a Technogym bench. Now, they were actually really hard to find. I found someone on eBay selling one. It came with this orange leather on it, but I ended up buying it. So I'll show you the bench now. So this is the old school Technogym bench. So this is the bench that weighs 17 kilograms, and this is the one that I ended up trying on holiday. So the person who I bought it from eBay done me a really good deal. Ended up getting this re-leathered and got this black leather on it. So it does look like a traditional Technogym bench now, which I really like. And it is so light. The back's adjustable and the front pad is also adjustable. So moving on to my favorite piece of the whole gym, and that is this Cybex hip abductor. Now, I cannot believe that I've even got one of these. I looked for one of these for the longest time. I was getting really impatient, and to be honest, I thought one was never going to come up. I nearly gave up, and there was like 3 different hip abductors that I nearly bought, and I was very close to buying them because I just thought I was never going to find one of these. There's one showed up, and it was 1:30 in the morning that I was looking on Facebook Marketplace. Now, I don't know how I haven't been banned off Facebook Marketplace. I've spent the majority of this year on it. Someone ended up putting one of these on for sale that he had in his own home gym. Had the traditional Cybex leather on and stuff, which I actually really like. Really old, and the pad was really wet on the inside. I think it must have been left outside, but nevertheless, the machine was in really good condition. I ended up buying that off that man on Facebook Marketplace, which I begged him that I could buy it off him, because he had it on for 15 minutes and he already had somebody saying he wanted to buy it off them. Anybody who knows anything about gym equipment knows that these pieces are so incredibly rare, you just can't find them. I was looking at them and people were charging £1,200 just to get one of these, and they weren't even in anywhere near as good condition as this is. But I got really lucky with this one, so I ended up buying it. I think it was £600 or £650. Sounds like a lot. It is not a lot for this. Like, it is such a good deal. This is my all-time favorite piece of gym equipment. I found some leather online, grained coffee brown. I bought some of that and I was really unsure about it, but when I re-leathered it and it came back, I actually really love it. So got really lucky with the Cybex hip abductor. So another star of the show is this leg extension. This was never in my plan to get, because when I'd set out to have a home gym, I was never going to fit a leg extension in here, but it ended up happening with the way that I'd arranged the room and the size I ended up going for the home gym. I looked for a leg extension for a long time because I needed a small one. Now, this is a tiny leg extension. It's like just over a meter each way. Like, it is a really small leg extension, a Paramount leg extension. So what I'd done was I got a load of new like nuts, bolts, washers, stuff like that. Then obviously took the leather off, re-leathered it with the same leather that's on the Cybex. I've sprayed it black because it came and it was black. But the original Paramount equipment is a very similar colour to the Cybex, so it's like an off-white kind of cream. If I was ever willing to get this sprayed, which at some point in my life I might get this sprayed properly, because I would like it to be as original as possible, more than likely going to go back to its original colour of being the same as the Cybex. Nevertheless, I think it looks really good. Like, I absolutely love it being black, and it looks miles better now than what it did when it first came. This has probably been the most revamped piece because I have obviously painted it myself and then re-leathered it. This leg extension is absolutely class. The hip abductor and this leg extension are both around 20 to 30 years old, but the way that this leg extension fits and feels on you, like, it's just muscles, there's no joint pain at all. We are very happy with this. But I didn't tell you before I've moved on, but the leg extension, you won't even believe how much that cost me. Go on, guess. I'll tell you. £200. That leg extension cost me £200. So another piece of equipment that I've got in my home gym is this hyper extension bench. I love hyper extensions, and it is something that I have always loved. Like since day one of training, I have always done hyper extensions. This is very hamstring and glute based. You can also do things that strengthen your lower back and stuff like that, but I use it primarily for glutes and hamstrings. This is also secondhand, however I haven't changed anything with it, and I got this from a company called Pinnacle Fitness. So they actually sell a lot of gym equipment in the UK. Got it, I think I paid about £260 for this. It's actually a really good deal because they were dead expensive online. Secondhand, but it's really good quality, and there's like barely any marks on it or anything, so I'm really happy with that. That is all the equipment on this side of the room. I also need to admit something, so I am a gadget freak, always been that way. Like I am just into gadgets and tech, and that may seem nerdy, I don't care, that is who I am. So this whole gym actually runs off, I can't say it because she starts listening to me. So this whole gym's actually run off that, the lights, them lights, the lights above, my music, everything. So that is just a feature that I wanted to mention. As for the lights above, had them in my Amazon basket for about 3 months, just was like reluctant to buy them. They were £250, get 5 of them. And then someone at work came up to me and was like, have you ever tried TMU? I was like, no. You'll never guess how much these lights were. They were £35, and they came next day, and they were dead easy to install. So if anybody's looking for like hex lights or anything really, to be fair, go on TMU and give it a go because they are so good. This is the biggest piece of equipment that I've got in here. This is the last piece of equipment that came, but it was the first piece of equipment I ever ordered. Not gonna say anything bad or anything about the company because they've ended up actually being really good to me now that it's came. And this took 17 weeks to get delivered. It was originally gonna take 7 to 8 weeks anyways because I actually got this squat rack custom built. The things that you get to choose is add in a Smith machine if you want, but I didn't want to, and the reason why was because I didn't want it to come out any further into the gym. I wanted as much space in here as possible. The other thing you could customize was the height, the weight stacks. So you could customize the ratio of the weight stacks and the weight of the weight stacks. So I got this from a company called Muscle IQ, 17 weeks to come, and the only reason why was because they actually painted it a different colour, which is fine. I mean, they rectified it, but they had to remanufacture it because they are built to your order, which is something that I really like about it because it feels actually quite personal. It is really compact as well because it doesn't come out far from the wall, so I think it comes out about 80 centimeters from the wall. I chose to have 2 stacks, got them at 90 kilograms each. But you could get 2-to-1 ratio or you could get a 1-to-1 ratio. I actually got 1-to-1 ratio. So basically, to explain that is, if you had a 2-to-1 ratio and you lifted 50 kilograms, you would feel like you were lifting 25 kilograms. But if you had a 1-to-1 ratio and you lifted 50 kilograms, it would feel like you're lifting 50 kilograms. So I got a 90 kilograms at a 1-to-1 ratio. And the reason why is because obviously with having limited equipment in here, I wanted whatever weights I had to be as heavy as possible. However, I have been humbled to say the least because like most of the time when you go to the gym, you're feeling 2-to-1 ratio, so you can tend to like lift a lot heavier than what you actually are lifting and stuff like that, which is good. I mean, it's great. I've been humbled when lifting this 1-to-1 ratio because I'm not even being funny, like that is so heavy. I am barely getting past that second stack for any exercises. Yeah, so it's from Muscle IQ, really happy with it. The quality, I will admit, is absolutely insane, and the price of it was really cheap compared to everything else I was looking at. From Muscle IQ, I ordered the rack, I ordered the blacked out barbell, which I'll show you soon, and I also ordered the bumper plates. Now, the bumper plates that have came aren't the ones I ordered because they're ones I ordered are blacked out and they're on back order. So I ordered 220 kilograms worth of blacked out bumper plates, pretty much essentially just look like that. Back order, so they kindly sent me 100 kilograms of the speckled ones. I think they're called Crumb. They sent me 100 kilograms of these Crumb style bumper plates to basically put me on free of charge, which is really nice of them because that would have cost me like 220 quid. So I can't believe that they've actually done that. I actually prefer them now over the blacked out ones, so I don't know whether to message them and say, can you send me them all in Crumb, or just keep the blacked out ones as well. But I really like them, like they add a little bit more colour into the room and I just think they're really nice. So basically the rack behind me, that is 205 centimeters high, custom built, painted black because I asked for it. 2 times 90 kilogram stacks with a 1-to-1 ratio on each side, came to £1,970. Now that itself is an absolute bargain. Like the rack, the build quality of that rack is like next to none. Like it is insane. It is such high quality. These are so nice. Like they are dead smooth. So they've got this really like nice knurling style handle, which is you just don't get stuff like that elsewhere. So I'm shocked. You know, it's really good quality. I wasn't expecting it. I ended up getting 5% discount code for that as well. So the rack total actually came to £1,871.50. Bumper plate, I ended up paying £399 for 200 kilograms of blacked out bumper plate and £30 for an additional 2 5 plates. Got 100 kilograms of them for free. I got the deal 5% off all the items, and then they actually refunded me 20% on my order because the 10-week additional lead time on the squat rack. I've got all of this for not a lot of money. Ultimately, I'm very happy with the equipment that I've got. So on to my accessories. This is the bar that I actually got from Muscle IQ. It's a 15 kilogram bar and it's a short bar, so I think it's about 6 foot rather than 7 foot. It just works better in this room. I've got the barbell holder from Gym Master because it's got the same initials as me, so that's the only reason why I actually picked that one. So this is my attachment wall. So I ended up getting my holder from, I think it was Amazon. Got a lot of my attachments from Amazon too. I've got like a wide grip at the bottom, and then these are all my different cables attachments. I've obviously got my fine wrist straps there. They're a different type of wrist straps to the one I usually use. I actually usually use my Lolli lifting ones. My Lolli lifting wrist straps. These are so cute. They're amazing them. I mean, they're only £12 and I do have a discount code with them as well, and the quality of them is like, I don't have any other wrist straps that are this good quality. So this little primal strength attachment is really good. So I've never used this attachment before, but I've been seeing a lot of people using them recently in the gym and stuff like that. I got one and I use it a lot for like pull throughs or like ab work as well on the cables, which I really love. That's actually a really good attachment. I would recommend that, and I think it was only about between 15 and 20 pounds. It wasn't very expensive. I realized I didn't show the flooring before, but this is the flooring, so you can see that they are, you know, square mats. Really good quality. They are 15mm and then they're all black. You can get speckled and stuff like that too, but I just got black, so they look really good in the room. They just finish the whole room off pretty much. Can't forget my lifting belts, the pink one and the lilac one. They're just so good, and the quality of these belts are just insane. The last piece of equipment that I actually purchased was this ski erg. So I'd struggled to find what cardio I wanted because we do a lot of steady state cardio because I've got my little dog and we go for walks all the time, every single day. So I didn't need like a treadmill. Ideally, I would have loved a Stairmaster. That's like my all-time favorite piece of cardio, and it's something that me and Dom are gonna look into getting for our conservatory for like morning cardio and stuff like that, but I'm yet to find one that's a good enough price because they are so incredibly expensive. I wanted a piece of cardio that would basically, at the end of a workout, I could do it. It was a little bit of a HIIT cardio because I was torn between a skier, a rowing machine and a bike. When I was on holiday, I tried all three. Basically the bike, I was so bored on it. Like I hated being on the bike. I don't know what it is, I just couldn't enjoy it. I wanted to just get off it, and also the seat is so uncomfortable. I went on the rowing machine and I did actually prefer the rowing machine. That was my favorite one. So I did weigh up of what to get in here, and the rowing machine was just going to be too big. I ended up going with a ski erg, and I'd looked and researched where I wanted to find the best price for a ski erg, because if you've looked at like the Concept 2s and stuff like that, you know they are over £1,000. They are so expensive. I ended up finding the company Super Home Gym. They had one on sale, so it was meant to be like 800 and something pounds, and they had one on sale for, I think it was 450 something. It had free delivery and they gave you a free set of £60 headphones, and they also gave you it had a floor mount and a wall mount, which to me was really important because when I've been looking at ski ergs, the floor mount themselves are like £250 to buy. I knew I didn't want a floor stand because I don't want any floor space taken up in here, and because of the ski erg was I can mount it here, which I would never train in this area, so it's perfect. I actually messaged the person who owns the company and he said, yeah, it comes with a floor stand and a wall mount, definitely. It has been the perfect purchase. Like, so every time I'm training, I'm doing a minute on, a minute off, and I'm going to try and do that 5 times. I'll probably work towards seeing how fast I can get 500 meters, seeing how fast I can get 1,000 meter, and I'm basically just going to do these things to kind of get like that final sweat at the end of a workout, just have a bit of a hit cardio, just that extra calorie burning. But this gear is amazing. Like, the quality of it is insane. Yeah, I really love this piece of kit, and it really took me like 10 minutes to build. That's the space it takes up in my home gym. Like, it takes up such a tiny space that it was perfect to get for me. Really happy with my final purchase of the Ski Erg. That should be everything now. Like, I am pretty happy with everything that I've got. There's only one thing, right? There's only one thing that I would get right now, and that is a foot plate, the rack to do low rows. I don't think I've missed anything, and I really hope that I haven't missed anything out. So that was a tour of my home gym, and you know, I'm really happy with it, and I'm so grateful to be in a position where I can put something like this in my garden and do this for me and Dom. It's just a little space that I can call my own. I hope you really like it. I hope I've inspired you a little bit to do it yourself, or I hope I've helped you towards some equipment that you're going to buy, or what you're going to do, or what's the process of building it. And if you do have any questions at all, please can you leave them down below, because you know, I want to help you. I want to answer your questions. Anything you want to know, it could be about me, it could be about training plans, it could be about anything. Also, if you want to see any kind of workout videos, any kind of lifestyle content, I do post that very regular on my TikTok and my Instagram, and I'll leave both of them below as well. I would really appreciate, you know, a subscribe and a follow on those accounts. That would mean the world to me, and build a community of girls. I want to help you girls out. It's a little bit of inspo, and if I know that I can help anybody at least once, like, that's at the end of the day, that's what I am doing it for. So I do want to thank you all for watching. I do hope this video has helped you in some kind of way. Yeah, if you do want to see more content, then just go onto my other socials. But yeah, thank you for watching.